Hello, everyone, and welcome live to the World Racing Network for tonight's broadcast of the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series here in the National Sim Racing Association. I'm Mitchell Adams. Joining me again this week is Tyler Belanger. And Tyler, last week at Rockingham, we were short track racing, and it was a fantastic race. Tonight, we're going to do the same thing here at the Iowa Speedway, but Iowa, a lot different than Rockingham here. Very tricky track.
Yeah, it's definitely a tricky track, but like some of these other tracks that we've run the last couple of weeks, there is two legit lanes that you can run at this track. Usually the high lane is preferred on the short run, and then people migrate down. So me personally, I always loved the high lane at this track. You get that big run off of the corners, and you can really make some strong moves. But in the long run, it does seem to fall off a little bit. So we'll see who the high line guys are tonight. Typically, people like the 33. And we'll see who is rocking the bottom. Typically, people like Adam Pettit in the 17.
Yeah, we will have to wait and see here as practice coming to a close here. You can see checkered flag waving. We are going to get rolling right into qualifying here again on this Thursday night. Glad to have you all joining us here. Sarah Mars out in the chat saying, yay, Mitchell. Hello, Sarah and Tyler. She says hello to you too. Also, Stay Tuned Sports. What's up, everyone? What's up, Stay Tuned Sports? Glad you're watching here tonight. We've got quite a bit of good racing on the way for you here tonight. 130 laps once again this week at the Iowa Speedway. Last week's race winner, Philip Scott, getting out on track right now. Philip had a strong run for sure last week at Rockingham. Tyler has to be considered a threat coming in this week.
He showed really good pace in practice. He was the second fastest on the leaderboard, so look for him to ride that momentum and try to get another top five, but definitely look for him to shoot for the win. I noticed Adam, who had finished second last week, I believe, he was third fastest on the practice charts. Martin Clute was actually the fastest in tonight's session, so definitely want to keep an eye on him on where he qualifies.
Martin Clute in the number... No, wrong car. There's Martin Clute in the number 4 machine. He has been having some strong runs here lately. We'll have to see if he can keep it up here tonight at Iowa and put a good time in. Right now, Philip Scott in the 99 leads the qualifying board for the time being. Still very early, gets into the wall there. Not going to be getting it on that lap. Driver who is, though, Jeremy Richmond in the 98 machine. Up to the top of the chart, Mike Tellier beats me right to it in the Hello Kitty machine. Winner of your season opener currently on the pole here at Iowa. A lot of cars out on track, though. You've got Chris Darling in the 11. Oh, he's actually pulling off after his qualifying run here. A lot of drivers pulling off, trying to find somebody out making laps here at the Iowa Speedway for you. Here is the 94 machine out on track, going for qualifying. I believe this is Patrick Morrison, if I remember the number. Yes, it is. Patrick had a little bit of a struggle week last week at the Rockingham Speedway. One of those drivers looking for a rebound tonight, Tyler, and that's a good thing. Rockingham, a lot of drivers had good runs, but some of them struggled. So here tonight, kind of just want to relax, take a deep breath. It's a new track, and go try and run this race.
Some of that bad luck last week definitely did not play well for them, because I think we only had that one caution towards the end, if I remember. I could be wrong, but I know there was a lot of green flag running, so any mistakes you make when you have a race that has very little yellows, you're going to find yourself in a sticky situation trying to work your way back up there. Something I noticed about these guys qualifying is these top 3 guys, or top 4 really right now in qualifying, they were not top 5 fastest in practice. So the guys that we saw that were running fast practice laps, they're sitting a little lower on the qualifying board. So I'll be interested to see how that plays out at the start of this race. If they're able to make some quick moves and find themselves in the top 5 or not.
Yeah, we'll have to keep our eyes peeled for sure. Last week's winner, Philip Scott, currently 6th on the board. Noah Owens out for a little qualifying run here. Got about a minute and a half left in qualifying. Adam Pettit also out on track making his run. Adam Pettit, 2nd place last week at Rockingham. Had a very good showing, very fast, dominated Homestead. Looking to have a good run here as well. So is Nick Kessler in the number 6 machine. Kessler coming in here looking for some momentum here at the Iowa Speedway. Adam Pettit in the 17, though, Tyler. Top of the chart. Adam Pettit showing that speed yet again this week.
Yeah, he just barely squeezed in there too. A little slower than the practice run or practice time that he had, but from what I've seen so far, being part of this league, he's a guy to beat every week. So he's looking pretty good there at the top of the board. When they get going green, though, this is a track that you have to be extremely careful, especially in going into turn one. The turn one entry here, you have to let off pretty far on that front stretch to make the corner right. So if people get a little too aggressive here on these first few laps, you might see a pretty decent pile up. So we'll see how patient everybody is. It is a 130 lap race. They got 2 sets of tires, so they're definitely going to want to make sure they take care of those. They don't want to pit too early and use up those tires. And from what I was hearing from the drivers, they got about 90 laps worth of fuel. So they can run some really long runs here. So be very careful on making sure they take care of those tires those first 10 or 15 laps.
Yeah, for sure. In Iowa, a track that notoriously wears the tires off the race cars quite a bit. One of the more difficult short tracks, I think, to manage tires, especially between being able to run the high lane or the low lane or really wherever you want. It makes it very difficult to save the tires here, like you said, as we switch into the late afternoon, I believe is what iRacing calls this time of day, to get gridded up for tonight's race. And we'll take you through the starting order here tonight as the drivers get gridded up to start this race. It's Adam Pettit in the 17, like we mentioned, your pole sitter here tonight. Julian Tesoro in the 92 starts second. The 971 of Nate Maurer rolls off third. Jeremy Richmond starts in fourth. Trey Whitehead starts fifth. Mike Tellier starts sixth. Philip Scott starts seventh. Chris Darling eighth. The 75 of Josh Sobel starts ninth. Rounding out the top 10 is Daniel Anderson. Tyler, you want to take him through 10th through 20th?
Sure can. I apologize in advance if I mess up any of these names, but you got the 4 of Martin Plute sitting 11th. Sitting to his outside in the 8, starting 12th is Ryan Sizemore. 13th in the 97 is Brock Salvati. 14th is the 6 of Nick Kessler. And you got 15th on the inside, Matt Donnelly in the 41. Sitting 16th is the number 24 of Ben Mashburn. It's sitting 7th is my number 88, Noah Owens. And then sitting to his outside in 18th is Brock Whitehead in the 31. Sitting in position 19th is the 94 Patrick Morrison. And then to round out the top 20 is Brody Smith at the 955.
Yep, then it's Justin White in the 2 machine rolling off 21st. Stan Hausman in the Beer Street Journal car starts in 22nd. Jordan Shepler rolls off 23rd. Doug Neal in the 972 starts 24th. My Dr. Pepper car, the number 49 Bryce Hunter, rolls off 25th. Jeff Price starts 26th. Steven Lachensky starts 27th. And Christopher Thompson is going to round out the 28 car field here tonight at the Iowa Speedway. 28 cars, going to put on a great show for us here, Tyler. Definitely going to be, I think, one of the best, most exciting side-by-side races we've seen this season. And thank you all for tuning in. There's Tyler Belanger out in the chat. I know him. And Ty Styles also out in the chat. Martin Plute out there. Vicara out in the chat. And thank you all for tuning in with us. We'll be sure to take you through all the racing action here tonight from the Iowa Speedway, one of my favorites. Next week we have race sponsor anythingec.com, so looking forward to getting a title sponsor on the race next week. We'll talk more about that later, but if anyone out there is interested, you could be the title sponsor of one of these races, so keep that in mind. Meanwhile though, Tyler, good looking car for the 17 of Adam Pettit. As always, I think new scheme for Julian Tesoro in the 92 on the outside.
I was about to say I was really digging the paint scheme of the number 4. I think he ran that last week as well, but I'm just noticing that's a good looking Collinsville Barbecue Supply Toyota Supra.
Yeah, that is always a nice car. I believe a Max Graphics paint scheme. I on board that number 4 machine. Those always look good. The 11 of Chris Darling in the Max Graphics car here. always puts out good paint schemes. I've run Max Graphics cars. They're definitely sharp-looking race cars out here on track. As Adam Pettit in the 17 getting ready to start this race off from the pole, just like he did at Homestead, I believe. He went on to dominate that race. We'll see if he can do it here again tonight as the iRacing pace car about to head down pit road.
Keep an eye on that 33 too. He's got a fan out in the chat hoping to see him win tonight. We know he loves that high lane. He's starting there on the low lane in 5th. Look for him to be aggressive early on. As we're about to go green, boys.
Yep, iRacing pace car down pit road, green flag in the air. We are racing from the Iowa Speedway here tonight on the World Racing Network. Is a good start for the 17 of Adam Pettit. Side by side though, behind him for second place, Nate Maurer losing it to 92 of Tesoro. Tesoro up the inside, gonna take the position from the 17 of Adam Pettit. Race leader on lap 1 gonna be the 92 Julian Tesoro as they cross the line to take lap 1, and Jeremy Richmond already taking the fight for second place.
Yeah, that was a great move by the 92. He did not get a great restart, but going into turn 3, he made a really aggressive move and said, I am not wasting any time. I'm going to get up there and get the points early for some laps and get some new faces out in front of some of these races. Right behind Adam Pettit, now we got the 33. He's running that high lane, challenging the 98 of Jeremy Richmond. So look for that 33 to keep working that high lane. Adam Pettit seems to struggle a little bit running that high lane. I think he's probably trying to save a little bit of tires, knowing that this could very well be a long green flag run.
Yeah, that is something to keep in mind, is you've got to save those tires up if this run goes long, or else you're going to be getting eaten up by all these other drivers here on the long run. Julian Tesoro off at blistering pace though, already 7/10 of a second out in front of Adam Pettit for the race lead. So very good start for Tesoro in that number 92 machine. We saw him strong at Rockingham, excuse me, folks, as well last week, Tyler. So the drivers that were strong there, I look for them to be strong again, as last week's race winners just cracked the top 5.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that he's not worried at all about saving tiring right now. He's just trying to get out there and gap the field as far as he can. He's already got a second place, Adam Pettit, and third place, Trey Whitehead, the 33. So we'll see how long this lasts. I know it can, within 10 laps, if you push those tires too hard and get them too hot, it's really difficult to get them to cool down and get some grip back in that car. So maybe he's hoping to catch an early caution, but right now he's just driving the wheels off of it over a second out. And now we see the 98 of Jeremy Richmond making a move up high on the 33.
Yep, side-by-side battle. Make it 3 wide up the middle. What a move there for Jeremy Richmond in the 98. He's still side-by-side. I take it back. He's going to clear the 17 of Adam Pettit for the second position. What a move that was by Jeremy Richmond. 2 cars in one straightaway at Iowa, and that's very impressive.
Yeah, that hurt the 33 too. I saw him queue up on the bike. Not sure he's too happy about that. He had to check up and then got freight trained by a few guys. As now I think he's getting passed for 5th place. And so look for him to try to rebound a little bit. You got to stay calm at a track like this. It's got that short track vibe to it. And if you let your emotions get the best of you, that can end your night pretty early. So we'll see how it goes on as the 99 is attacking the 17 of Adam Pettit from the high side. Adam really seems to be just taking his time. He probably knows this can be a long green flag run. He knows he's got a fast car starting out there on the pole, and he's just going to let this race come to him. He knows what he's doing. He's got a lot of experience. He's already won this season. So if I'm any of these cars around him, I'm looking at him and kind of trying to mimic what he's doing, knowing that's probably going to put you in a pretty good position at the end of this race.
I agree. Adam Pettit in the 17, definitely taking his time here at the start of this race. You're looking back off the roof of Pettit back at this field. You see Mike Tellier in the 47 tried to make a lunge up the inside there on the 17, wasn't able to quite make it happen. So for now, the 17 of Adam Pettit will hold his position in 4th. You see the 47 trying to make another lunge to the inside of that 17, unable to make it work though. And so far, Adam Pettit holding solid in the 4th position. Battle for the 6th position, though, is getting pretty good between Chris Darling in the number 11 and the 6 of Nick Kessler. Kessler up from 14th to 7th already in this race, up 8 positions. No, 6 positions, somewhere in that range in the first 12 laps of the race. Mighty impressive, and here goes Darling up the inside of Mike Tellier in that 47, trying to make the pass for 5th, but early on, it seems neither lane too big advantage, but the high line, I feel like more drivers seem to be running up there when they get into battles, or they're choosing to cover the high line rather than the low line.
I think just the reason for that is a lot of these guys, from what I'm seeing, are running that low line, so they know that in order to make a move, they're going to have to move up a lane, run that middle lane, or there really is 3 lanes. You can run the low, middle, or up higher on the track. I know I've always liked the high line, but that does heat up the tires a lot. But Julian out there in front, he's still holding on to that solid 1 second. Now that we are 14 laps in, I thought he'd lose a little more ground with how hard he pressed, but Jeremy Richmond sitting there strong in second, slow and steady. I gotta say, that's a nice looking paint scheme too in that Chevy Camaro, the 98 Jeremy Richmond. I love that green that he's got on that car.
Yeah, that is a nice paint scheme from Jeremy Richmond. He has one of those iRacing spec maps on it. Maybe, definitely a lot of reflection off kind of the back half of that race car. I love that paint scheme. Like you said, a lot of good ones in the field. Julian Tesoro, let's check in on him up front. He is about 1.2 seconds in front of Jeremy Richmond in the second position. We'll get a check of the lap times here when they cross the line. We'll see how well Tesoro is faring up front. See him slightly faster than Jeremy Richmond in second. So far Tesoro keeping up the pace, but like you've said, we are on lap 16 right now. If these drivers can make it 90 on a tank of fuel, that's a lot of green flag laps left on these tires.
Yeah, absolutely. They've really gotta just be careful and calm and make a move when you can make it, but not try to be overly aggressive. As this run goes on, you're gonna see some of these guys start to fall off, and maybe some, farther back in 8th, 9th, 10th, they've had the ability to save a little more tire, just trying to be patient and work through this traffic. They might be able to make a run if this continues to stay green. I would imagine, though, even with 90 laps of fuel in these cars, I don't think anybody is going to try to press that far in tires. So look for some different strategies to come into play here. I mean, it's a 130-lap race. 65 is halfway. So you might see some guys anytime after that try to make it a one-stop race and capitalize on short pitting.
I think the 47 of Mike Floppy Tellier got a little bit sideways out of turn 2, a little bit of contact with the wall, but we continue to watch the 17 of Adam Pettit drop spots here in the early going. Lost one to Chris Darling, then the 6 of Kessler got around him, and now the 33 of Trey Whitehead you see on your screen taking the fight to Adam Pettit in that outside lane. So Adam Pettit started first, down to 8th now, 9th if the 971 of Nate Bauer makes his way around. So Pettit, he could be conserving tires here early on, like you said, but dropping a lot of spots for sure. And there is something to be said for keeping that track position. So we'll just have to wait and see how the strategy plays out for him.
Yeah, he's definitely fallen back a little more than I suspected, but he did coin a new nickname after last week, Patient Pettit, so that very well could be what he's doing. I know you got to be careful not to lose too many spots, as a lot of these guys are really working that middle line now, and he's really sticking to that bottom line, so maybe he's just trying to really go for that long run, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him start to migrate up the track, as the pressure will start to build up as he sees more and more cars go by him. He got a little close to that 971 there. Now you see he moves up, trying to try a different lane, see what kind of speed he can get. I did notice a little bit of damage on the rear end of the 33 there. I don't think that happened from earlier on, so I think we might have missed something. He's got a little right rear spoiler damage, a little crinkle, so we'll see how that affects him in the long run, how much optional damage he might have once we do get to those pit stops.
Yeah, it doesn't look too bad on the rear end of the 33, and of course it is a short track, so also it's not as aerodynamically sensitive as it would be if we were at a 1.5 mile or a 2-mile racetrack, but still, nevertheless, that is something to keep an eye on. As they got close.
Yes, they did. Got really close. they're driving each other really aggressive. I don't think the 33 likes how much the 6 pinned him down there. The 33 washed up just a little bit, and that's all it took because he was being pinned down there pretty tight. So might see a little bit of temper start to flare. As the 33 looks like he's starting to lose his car. He just slid up again, almost into the 17 there. It looks like that front end starting to not rotate through the center of the corners right there. I don't think that has anything to do with the damage. More, he might have just overdrove his tires a little bit. Needs to take a few laps, let him cool down, and maybe cool down himself, because I think he got a little frustrated earlier on. He's not really running where he probably wants to run based off of the speed of his car. So look for him to try to rebound there a little bit.
Yeah, the number 33 of Trey Whitehead started 5th, currently running 9th. Has been up in the top 5 in the early stages. You're right, dropping back just a little bit here, trying to take the fight to Martin Plute, though, in the number 4 machine. I think, actually, no, Plute gonna fight back aggressively on that outside lane. Side by side, almost banging doors down the front straightaway are these two. Good battles going on here. The side-by-side racing continues once again as we take lap 25. This has been something we've seen all season, that even on the long runs, these drivers still racing side by side, which makes for very entertaining races to watch. But one thing I am watching, like you've mentioned, lap 26 taking 27 right now. This is the point where if you were running the tires a little too hard early on, it's going to start to show up just a little bit right now.
We're starting to see it too with the leader of Julian Tesoro. He has only got a half a second lead over Jeremy Richmond in the 98 now. So it looks like Jeremy has played his cards right. He's really taking care of that beautiful 98 Chevy Camaro. And he is now within a half of a second of our leader.
And Tesoro managed to get a lap faster that last time by. We'll see what happens when they cross the line this time. Like you said, that gap down from about 1.3 seconds down to within a half a second. So Jeremy Richmond definitely has the fast car right now. We'll see this time closed up just a little bit, a little less than a tenth of a second that time by. So this number 98 machine of Richmond definitely doing a good job working up through the field right now, and he is about a second in front of last week's race winner Philip Scott, who currently runs 3rd in that National Ninja.com machine there.
Yeah, he's running really well right now. He's there's quite a bit of a time difference between the top 5. I mean, you got almost 3 seconds all the way back to 5th, so they're spread out pretty good. They're just running their lines, probably sticking to the same line. I don't imagine this far into the run that they're really trying to change everything up right now. They're probably just trying to put down some consistent lap times and make sure that they're keeping themselves in good position, whether a caution comes out or they do get to a point where they're going to have to do some green flag strategies. But right now, there's no lap traffic that's coming into play yet, so they just need to make sure they're being consistent, not making any mistakes, and certainly not overdriving the car, risking getting to the wall or anything like that. But that top 5 spread out pretty good. Back behind them, it gets a little more bunched up from 6th to about 11th or 12th. So we'll see how this plays out as far as strategy. But right now, definitely looking really good for last week's winner.
Yeah, we will keep an eye on those drivers running up front in that battle for the race lead. Right now, the gap kind of staying still. So, ooh, the 33 machine into the wall hard out of turn 2. Trey Whitehead. That's going to hurt the performance on that number 33 machine for sure. He's going to be side by side with Nate Maurer. Across the start-finish line, currently running in the 11th position. So the 33 continues to struggle here as the run goes on, and we'll see if he can settle in line here behind Nate Maurer in front of Ben Mashburn, who currently runs 12th. Mashburn up from 16th, up 4 spots so far in the early going of this race. So it's been a good showing for this number 24 machine of Ben Mashburn as well. But to take you back up to the front, I'm noticing Philip Scott actually closing in now more time than Richmond is. Richmond started to lose a little ground to race leader Tesoro, but Philip Scott continues to gain on both of them.
Yeah, he's running a little bit behind the line here on Richmond in front of him. So he's been consistent with that middle groove. The 98 of Jeremy Richmond's been running a little lower. Of course, as I say that, they swap it up. The 98 runs the middle and the 99 runs the lower line. But yeah, that battle is heating up right now. Jeremy's actually lost a little bit of time to our race leader, Julian, in the 92. And if he's not careful, he's going to find himself in third with Philip trying to chase down the leader. But he definitely looks faster right now. Now that he's right up on him, he's catching that draft, and he's probably going to try to make this pass pretty quickly. The more you get side by side and mess around, the more those tires are going to wear. He gets a really good run there. He's going to go to the inside of the 98 for him to try to complete this pass right here. And the 98 just lets him go. He says, nope, I don't want any business in that. I don't want to lose any time or wear out my tires anymore. Although he does look, he thought about the crossover there, but he's going to let the 99 hold on to that position for now.
Yeah, the number 99 of Philip Scott gets around Jeremy Richmond now for the second position, so moves Scott up to second place. We've got Ryder out in the chat saying, go Philip. He's certainly doing a good job right now. Rose saying, go Richmond, and Morrison as well. I believe we've got someone rooting for the 33 of Trey Whited out here in the chat. So if you haven't said, who are you out here rooting for tonight, we'd love to know who to keep our eye on here in the booth as this race goes on. Like we've said, Philip Scott on the march up to the front. We'll see if he has anything for Julian Tesoro out front. Meanwhile, a little back further in the pack, I believe. Well, not here, wrong button. There, this little battle here, but between the 4 of Martin Plute, the 41 of Matt Donnelly, and a couple other drivers. This pack pretty close together right now. Keeping it together, see Nate Maurer trying to make a move up the outside of the 41 of Matt Donnelly. We'll see if he's able to make that stick on the 41. The 33 machine, also Trey Whited, looking really high. And there goes the 971. Really held down the 41. Aggressive racing from Nate Maurer, trying to complete this pass. They continue to fight. 41 doing a good job holding down the inside, and it gets more and more difficult as the tires wear to hold down that inside lane here at Iowa.
Yeah, it's always a good strategy to try to pin that car down low as you can to the corner and kind of make him have to wait longer to get into the throttle coming up off the corner to complete that pass. I will say this, I went back and watched that 33 when he hit the wall. He hit that really hard. He caught it with the right rear, and then the right front got into it. Oh, they almost made contact. Almost a huge moment for the 33. Again, almost putting it in the wall. He had to avoid. I don't know if the 41 just pushed tight. But the 33, I'm surprised to not see him struggling a little bit more, because I'm pretty sure he's got some pretty heavy damage on that right side. Doesn't look too bad, but I went back and watched that contact, and he hit it pretty good. So he's holding on, just trying to do his best to maintain. He has fallen out of the, he's sitting 10th. Was out of the top 10 for a minute after starting 5th. But he's going to probably want to caution sooner than later, come down and try to make some repairs to that car, because the longer this goes on, the worse that damage is going to affect him as these tires wear.
Yeah, the 33 kind of seems to be settling in line pretty well here at this stage in the run. We talked about him falling back just a little bit, but he's gotten it gathered back up for the moment. He currently runs inside the top 10, so good job by the 33 keeping it locked down. We've got Tyler Talion out in the chat saying, let's go Patient Pet, or Patient Pet, it's who he's rooting for. Adam Pettit currently runs 6th at the moment, trying to run down Chris Darling in the number 11 machine. Pettit slowly worked his way up through a couple more cars, got some of those spots back, but still kind of sitting in the packs. His last lap a little bit slower than those drivers in front of him, so the 17 giving him a good fight as Darling side by side with Jeremy Richmond.
Yeah, Darling's also looking pretty good. He's up into 5th place right now after starting 8th. One car I was looking at too, as the 11 looks to complete that pass on the 98. The 6 car of Nick Kessler, he started 14th and he's moved himself up to 7th. He has definitely been slow and steady moving his way to the front, looking really good so far. I did also notice that the leader of Julian, he has held his own right as we thought that he might have worn out his tires and was starting to fall into the grasp of Jeremy Richmond, who's now sitting back and forth. He has brought himself back up to a 1-second lead over Philip. After Philip completed that pass on Jeremy Richmond, he hasn't been able to do much to make ground. I definitely thought he was going to catch him a little quicker after seeing how fast he caught Jeremy Richmond.
Yeah, Julian Tesoro doing a good job as the 11 of Chris Darling got cut off by the 98 of Richmond out of the corner. Darling did a heck of a job saving that race car. But man, that really cost the 11 a spot there. Let's actually go back because we
Yeah, I
can.
just did. That's worth it for sure. It looked like the 98 threw a slide job, and the 11 was just barely able to save it. It did look like he did glance the wall there a little bit, but that was a scary moment for both drivers. You got to learn give and take, and right there, it looked like the 98 was all take, and the 11 had to give. He's going to store that in the back of his mind, though, as we get farther on in this race, knowing how drivers race him. It might not be so patient if we get a move like that thrown on him towards the end of the race.
He actually held the wheel pretty steady there, did Chris Darling, so it didn't seem as scary in the car as it looked from outside the car, I don't think, but man, he certainly had a moment there and currently finds himself still battling with the 17 of Adam Pettit, Jeremy Richmond right there as well. I don't think Chris Darling will forget that one very quickly.
I'm sure that was a cheek clinching moment, though. These cars, if you get them squirrely like that, they can be a little sketchy to save. Fortunately, he didn't have anybody down on his inside, or that would have been a big wreck. But now you see the 11 is closing back up on the bumper as the 17 tries to make a move on Jeremy Richmond. Let's see if he gets a little more aggressive with the 98, knowing that slide job that he just had thrown on him. I'm sorry. Notice we got Philip Scott now. He is making a pass for the lead as we speak. We completely were missing that. He looks to complete it right here. Oh, he gets loose, though, coming out of that corner, and that's going to keep Julian out front right now. That came out of nowhere. He was about 8/10 back 2 laps ago, and all of a sudden, he is all over the leader.
Yep, Philip Scott now only 2/10 behind race leader Julian Tesoro, who's led it since lap 1, took the lead on the start of the race, has held it all 52 laps, but right now Philip Scott doing a really good job, like you said, running him down, trying to run in his tire tracks. He got a good run there out of turn 4. We'll just have to keep our eye peeled a little bit more on this battle. Didn't want to miss it there. I'm almost glad we didn't miss the pass for the lead, Tyler. That would have been poor camera work on my part.
It popped up out of nowhere. I'm wondering if the 92 might have had a moment where it allowed Philip to catch him. Noticed that Mike in the 47, he's 1.6 back, and I don't think he was that close before either. I think he was more like 2.2 seconds. So I wonder if the 92 might have got a little tight and had a lift coming out of a corner to not go up and brush the wall. But they're both running the same line right now. So even if the 99 can get to his bumper, he's going to have to change up his line to make that pass. So we'll see what happens with that. But I definitely think the 92 might have had a moment. Is even right there, he looks like he's pushing tight coming out of the corners. So might have a little bit of a better set of tires on the 99 of Philip Scott. He is running a little bit of a higher line, trying to get some clean air to that nose to set up a potential pass for the lead.
Yep, on board Julian Tesoro in the number 92. We'll look back on the number 99 of Philip Scott here as he tries to set up this pass. You see him, they're both migrating up to the high line. They getting closer and closer to that wall as the run goes on. So Philip Scott, you see him there just trying to find his way around the 92, but if they're both running the high line, he has to jump out of his line to make that pass. He's trying to do it here, looking up the inside through turns 3 and 4. Will he make it cleared out of the corner? Yes, he will. No, he won't. There comes the crossover from Tesoro. The battle here getting very good between these two drivers here. Julian Tesoro fighting back.
That was a great move by the 99. He backed up his entry a little bit and kind of diamond the corner. He does got the 92 back under him, but I don't think that 92 is as fast on that low lane as well. Well, as I say that, it looks like he might be able to slide up. It's definitely a good battle for the lead here, as I just don't think the 92 wants to run that low lane. As you can see now, the 99 has cleared him, and that was just a beautiful setup. You got to be more patient when you're making passes when you're on worn tires like this. You can't just dive bomb into the corner. You're really going to know what you're doing. And the 99 showing a great example of that, the way he backed up that corner to make that move. He didn't fully complete it on the first try, but he put himself into a position where the 92 was going to have to do something he hadn't been doing for the last 10 or 15 laps in order to try to defend that, and it worked out for him.
Yep, works out for Philip Scott. He is going to inherit the race lead now, and Philip has National Ninja League on the car. If you don't know this about Philip, he does American Ninja Warrior. He's been on the show, and he trains year-round for it. It's very
Oh,
cool.
wow.
He posts videos of it. That's what National Ninja League is on the car of Philip Scott. And on a hot streak here in the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series. Won last week at Rockingham in dominant fashion. Looking to do so again here tonight at Iowa here, as the number 92 of Julian Tesoro falling back almost into the clutches of third place Mike Tellier, who is getting passed by the 75 of Josh Sobel, who I believe has made a pit stop here. He has, so Sobel on fresher tires, as well as Ben Mashburn. Both those drivers have been down pit road, so maybe the strategy opening up as we are getting toward that halfway point.
Yeah, we sure are. We're about 5 laps from that halfway point, so maybe start seeing some strategy playing on. You had mentioned Philip doing those Ninja Warrior competitions. If he takes anything he's learned from those, he knows how to pace himself. As we got the 92 and the 47 that look to be coming down to pit road right now. So I would think that's a little early, but I'm sure they can still make it on fuel the rest of the way. So look for this to drag the rest of the field. They know there's going to be a huge difference in lap times now, so this might force the hands of the rest of the leaders, or for the top 10 for that matter, to come down pit road right now.
Yeah, there comes race leader Philip Scott as well down pit road. Chris Darling in the 11 machine making his pit stop here. Adam Pettit going to inherit the race lead right now. If the strategy is to pit halfway, that's about a 3-lap short pit these drivers did, but the difference in lap times is pretty significant. Usually here at Iowa, it actually hasn't been that bad tonight. They've only dropped about a second on tires, which is quite a bit, but Iowa very demanding on tires. I've dropped like 3 seconds over the course of a tire run here at Iowa. It's such a difficult track to save tires. They're doing a great job of it. Here tonight, you see more down pit road. Caution.
We got a caution. Oh boy, that's tough. Adam Pettit had just come down pit road. This will be really interesting to see how this plays out for some of these guys. Those drivers that just pit are going to be trapped a lap down now, if I had to imagine. This is going to shake everything up. We're 64, 65 laps in for sure. So let's see if you can find what happened there to bring out that caution, man.
Yep, here's the 6 of Nick Kessler coming out onto the racetrack on fresh tires here. Just made his pit stop, going through 3 and 4, and we'll just kind of watch him here. But you'll see on the corner exit, just kind of gets loose up off the corner, spins it around, a little contact with Ben Mashburn in the 24 as well. Just those cold tires that can catch you off guard sometimes, because they have a lot less grip usually on that initial lap than they normally do, and that just kind of caught Nick Kessler out there, and unfortunately that puts us under caution for the first time tonight at a very interesting time in the race.
Yeah, that was a pretty good job. I believe that was, you said that was the 24 right behind him. Being able to check up and not hit him hard, that will definitely save him having to use a fast repair. But you will see that a lot in these races, especially when you run a 64 lap green flag run. You know when you pit that you have to take advantage of those couple laps that you have of people that haven't pit there. So unfortunately for the 6, he just pushed it a little too hard trying to make up on that first lap. That's when you can make up the most time. And as you see, it slipped sideways on him. So hopefully he'll be all right. It didn't look like he really took any damage. He'll have to gather himself. On the good news for him, he should not have to pit. I wouldn't imagine. He'll keep those tires on. It does appear he is trapped a lap down, so hopefully he'll be able to take the wave around here. We got 12 cars on the lead lap after that, and I imagine all of them are going to be pitting here.
Yeah, a lot of drivers, I believe, coming down pit road here. Maybe. It's kind of messed up, like we've said, because the caution came out in the middle of the green flag pit cycle, so scoring, it's kind of all over the place at the moment. Currently, the 971 of Nate Maurer being scored your race leader in that Simbox racing machine. Again, we're kind of waiting to see if anything scoring-wise changes here, but I believe he will be your race leader when we go back green. But I have said that and been wrong so far this season, so I don't like to jump to conclusions up here. But I don't think the 6 looks that bad here. You see him well, he is leaning a lot to one side, coming back onto the racetrack. The 24 Ben Mashburn also doesn't look terrible in that machine, so I think both of them will be all right. Martin Flute definitely the one I think you would be worried about, but just a little rear end damage doesn't look like too much for him, so I think manageable for both those drivers.
Yeah, and I'm looking at it right now. It's scoring Adam Pettit sitting 12th place. He was the one who had just come down pit road when that caution came out. So he will have the freshest set of tires. Definitely lost a little bit of track position. I think he was sitting about 7th when he decided to come down pit road. I didn't think that Nathan Maurer had pit, but I imagine he had because he's still sitting out there on track. So I would think that there's nobody up front on old tires. I'm not quite sure why you would stay out in that circumstance. So, but it definitely shakes up the field a little bit. You got people like the 36 of Daniel Henderson, who's now sitting up in 3rd after starting 10th. Bryce Hunter's not somebody we've really mentioned at all. He's sitting 5th. We got Jordan Scheffler 6th, Noah Owens 7th. So we got some new guys running up here in the top 10 if they've all already pitted that maybe they're able to make something happen now that they got a little more track position.
Yeah, it is going to shake up the drivers we have up front here a lot. And want to highlight while we're under caution, you see, we've talked about it all week, but that yellow stripe on the bumper of the 49, that signifies that they are a rookie racing for the $100 Rookie of the Year prize from Beer Street Journal. So, again, we're going to keep you posted on the standings for that throughout the season here, especially as we get toward the end. I don't know who is in the lead of that at the moment. I'll make sure to figure it out for you, but I believe those wave around cars going around, so I believe pace car, you see it there, lights are off. We are going back green next time by. Great chance to just shout out Beer Street Journal for sponsoring the series, of course, the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series, and I believe also, while we're under caution, Brookstone Animal Hospital Lucky Dog Award. There, I got
You read
it.
my mind. I was about to make sure you remember.
Yeah.
Good job.
I think it's Brock Whited in the 31. I'm not completely sure. It could be Chris Darling. Not completely sure on which driver got it there. I'll figure it out. I'll start remembering quicker to check for it as the season goes on. But green flag in the air. Nate Maurer. Great start for the driver of the 971 machine. Big lead over the 98 of Jeremy Richmond headed through turn 1. But Richmond, big run, going to fight back out of 2.
Yeah, they definitely got really spread out really fast on that restart. Nathan making a good move, but that 98, he's been fast all day. He found himself in a couple sticky situations, but look for him to try to take advantage of sitting second right now. Try to get a little bit of some distance on some of these guys for this long run that will probably take place.
Yeah, good battles going on through the field right now. Jordan Scheffler just got passed by the 98 of Hunter. Or no, he's actually trying to work around the 98 of Hunter. He made a lunge, 99, 49. I don't know what I was saying. The 49, oh, gets loose, very loose out of the corner. That opens the door for the 13 of Jordan Scheffler to try and get underneath Bryce Hunter for the 4th position. Neither of these drivers, we've seen too much of them up at the front of the pack, but right now side by side battling for 4th again. That caution worked out very well for them, puts them in a very opportune position as race leader when we went to the pits cycle during green. Philip Scott, oh, is contact between those two sends the 49 up the track. Oh, more contact.
Oh, boy. Well, and oh, there's the yellow flag. I was about to say, this is what you're going to see when you get the field shaken up like this. We had 4th through 9th place of drivers who started mostly mid-20s towards the back of the pack. So they're not used to being up there. They know in order to stay in front of some of these guys that they have to press hard and not give up anything. So I think that was kind of what we saw there, is those guys were just being extremely aggressive there, knowing they got track position. They don't want to lose it. They want to make sure they stay up front, and being a little too aggressive there. I'm not sure what the caution came out for there, but the 49 and the 88 definitely, got into each other a little bit. You got what happened?
I am still trying to find it. I'm also not exactly sure what brought that one out here on the racetrack. Not seeing anything.
Yeah, it happened right when the 88 shot down the track a little bit, but it wasn't like he was out of control or anything. We got people in the chat wondering who the biggest movers are. That, ironically, is to 49, I believe, of Bryce Hunter sitting 6th even after that contact, and he started back in 25th. So looking good as far as how much ground he's made up, but he got a little bit of damage to the left and the right side of that car. Actually, pretty heavy damage to the right side of that car, so he might have to give up that track position and make some repairs.
Yeah, we will see what he does. There goes Brookstone Animal Hospital Lucky Dog Award winner, Nick Kessler. There we go. I got one here. Nick Kessler in the number 6 machine going around the pace car because he is picking up that Brookstone Animal Hospital Lucky Dog under this caution. Finally caught one while it was actually happening. I was going to say, too, that I believe it's a tie between Jordan Scheffler and Bryce Hunter for that biggest mover. Scheffler started 23rd, is running 4th. Right. Hunter started 25th, running 6th. And Doug Neal also, not biggest mover here so far, but Doug Neal in the 972 machine started 24th up to 8th. Good run for him. Stan Hausman in the Beer Street Journal machine started 22nd up to 10th. Big moves from a lot of drivers up here at the top of the field. Daniel Anderson running 3rd, started 10th. So, like we said, a lot of big movers. Nate Maurer, though, your current race leader, started 3rd, so he has been up here. But like I was going to say, that driver who was dominating and leading before the green flag pit cycle started, Philip Scott, he's down running 9th. So he lost a lot of spots because of that caution.
He actually got it pretty good, all things considered. Looking at the rest of the leaderboard, you have some of these guys that were running up front, like the 47 of Mike Tillier, who's sitting 19th right now. He lost a ton of track position. Joshua Sowell was running pretty good. He's sitting back in 17th. And Trey Whitehead, he's back in 21st after seeing him up in the top 5 early on. So this swap of the positions on track, really, it hasn't played itself out yet. That was only about 4 or 5 green flag laps there, so you might see a little bit more of that. Of you're going to have some guys in the back that know they have fast cars, and there's not but one set of tires left for these guys, so they're going to have to drive their way through this field if they don't get a lucky break with a well-timed caution. So look for that aggression to really start picking up. We're 77 laps into this 130 lap race, and they know they're running out of time to make that ground back up.
Yeah, past the halfway point in this race, so it is time to start making your way up and trying to find your way through the field. I don't believe any takers during this caution on pit road. I actually did have a few. Mike Tellier in the 47 came down pit road. Patrick Morrison in the 94 pitted, as well as the 33 of Trey Whitehead. All make pit stops here. Also Nick Kessler, your lucky dog, I came down pit road, and that'll be their last set of tires. I do believe they only had 2 in the pits to start this race, so most of these drivers trying to hang on to that last set, thinking maybe we'll get a late race caution. Cautions do tend to breed cautions at short tracks like this. We will see as pace car lights are off, getting ready to go back green next time by.
98 to maybe be a little more aggressive on this restart. You got an idea to see what Nathan Maurer did on that last restart. So maybe look for him to have a little bit more of an advantage on this and maybe make a move for the pass here as they get ready to go green. Those guys that just pitted, I'd be really surprised if they took their second set of tires. That does not put them in a good position if we catch another late race caution, which, you know, we do tend to see in these races as people get a little more desperate the last 20 or so laps. So I'll be curious to see how that strategy pans out.
That is my thought too, is that it is kind of early to be taking your last set of tires. Of course, they'll be flying here on this run. The other driver's been out about anywhere 15 to 20 laps on their tires. As pace car down pit road, the field in the hands of Nate Maurer. There he shoots off the line. Green flag back in the air. Good start for Maurer. Saw Philip Scott make an aggressive 3-wide move on to start the 88. Up into the wall. That'll bring out a caution. Big wreck.
Heavy crash. Yeah, that's definitely gonna be a fast repair there for the 88. That was really unfortunate there. He just he almost looked like he missed a gear on the restart. He did not get a good jump at all, and like you said, he immediately got thrown 3 wide and came up into the 77. And the 11 car just had nowhere to go. He picked the wrong line. That's a tough break for Christopher Darling as well.
and you kind of see a checkup on the restart. Then the 88 just goes up the track a little into the 77, collects Darling. Trey Whited, I think, might have gotten a piece of it. A lot of cars with major damage coming out of that one. We'll get a couple of onboard shots, and Ryder in the chat saying exactly what I had just said. Cautions breed cautions. It's exactly what happened right there. As we're going to go on board with the number 11 machine of Chris Darling on the restart to get his point of view of that one. You see him already working the top 3 wide here through the corner and up in front of him. The wreck's going to start. Darling just nowhere to go but straight into it.
Yeah, nowhere to go at all. And like I was saying before, I mean, I'm not trying to poop on the 88 at all, but he hadn't been up front a lot. And once you get into those positions, those restarts, they get feisty. And if you make one slip, everybody is looking to gain. And he just wasn't able to get a good jump. I'm not sure if he started in the wrong gear or just mistimed the restart compared to everybody else. But when you get some unfamiliar guys that haven't been up there mixed in with some of the guys who have, you're going to see some differences, especially just not knowing who you're driving around necessarily and their tendencies that they've had for that race so far and the lines that they like to run. You get in unfamiliar waters, it can be bad for some of these other drivers that get caught up in some of this stuff.
Yeah, a lot of drivers there had no fault in that whatsoever. Gonna end up getting big wreck, big damage. Chris Darling, you see him down pit road, was well behind that wreck when it formed up. That 11 machine probably out of this race, I have to imagine. Chris might try and fix it up, but there's not much a crew can do for that one. But there is a benefactor from this caution. That is the 8 machine of Ryan Sizemore, who got your Brookstone Animal Hospital Lucky Dog Award here under this yellow. That puts the 8 of Sizemore up onto the lead lap, so he'll be racing in contention for the win now when we go back green flag. Thanks to Brookstone Animal Hospital. They're linked down in the video description if you want to check them out. Stay tuned Sports in the chat saying that the 88 looks like he turned up slightly. I think, yeah, just turned up, maybe got a little tight. I'm not quite sure, but you see the damage on that 88 also quite possibly out of this race.
Yeah, the 11, I watched him and he took his pit. He did not have a fast repair. He did change his tires, but he didn't take any time to repair that car. All that front end damage. Might look for that engine to not make it much longer. He's going to want to keep an eye on those temps and see how that goes. I was watching that replay that you showed, though. That was a heck of a move by the 31 to split the gap with those cars wrecking in front of him. I don't think he hit anything, and he only had inches on each side to clear through that. So if he finds himself finishing in the top 10 tonight, he's definitely going to have to credit going back, making it through that wreck. That was a really good job by Brock Whitehead in the 31. That car still looks really clean.
Yeah, I showed that. That was impressive driving by Whitehead in the number 31. If anything, just slight left front contact. Don't really see much damage, though, for the driver with that rookie stripe on the back bumper. Definitely got quite a bit of experience on track there in the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series, but yeah.
We got a rider in the chat saying that he'll be fine, who really needs a front end of your car anyway. Well, I might agree with that if we were running Martinsville, but aerodynamics do matter a little bit, and I think he needs to worry a little bit about those engine temps more than anything as this race gets ready to go green again.
And also Tyler Talon out in the chat saying it is a tricky track, but the aggression gonna pick up here as we get closer to the end, and that is exactly right. We've seen a little string of cautions here after the first one. We went about 65 laps green, but now we've had 2 more cautions in the span of 20 laps, and that's just what happens when the stakes get raised at a short track like Iowa. Drivers, you've got to race inches off of each other anyways, and when you're more aggressive, making bigger moves, sometimes you just kind of come together. As there goes the pace car once again down pit road. 98 of Jeremy Richmond on the outside. Race leader Nate Maurer on the inside lane. Green flag in the air. Good start for Richmond this time. He's going to keep with the 98 of Maurer a little bit better on this restart. He's learned from the last couple. I was going to Watch and see, definitely a better start, trying to work the high line to the outside of Nate Maurer for the race lead into 3.
Yeah, that was a much, much better restart. It seems actually looks like he's going to clear him just about here for the lead. He's got a good run off the corner, and he does clear that. He learned something from those first 2 restarts watching Nathan Maurer, and he definitely made a great move there. I do want to note, too, though, we have Adam Pettit and Julian Tesoro sitting back in 7th and 9th. They have, I believe, a few lap fresher tires based off of when that first caution came out. They're working their way back up to the field pretty well. They're not going to be looking to be patient anymore and saving these tires. They know there's only about 40 laps to go. They're going to be moving up pretty quickly, but they got to get through a few of these guys who had gained a lot of track position and been running in the back of the pack. So you just look for a little bit more bumping and grinding as they try to make those passes.
And I jumped the camera through about 4 or 5 drivers there over the last lap because there were drivers about wrecking quite a few times that last time around. Philip Scott about went around there racing with Tesoro and Pettit. Scott right behind Pettit now for the time being. They're on the bumper of Bryce Hunter in that number 49 machine. Side by side, these are the 2 drivers who had come down pit road and taken tires. The rest of them in front pitted under that last caution. But the tire difference doesn't seem to be significant. Of course, it was only 2 or 3 laps, but sometimes on iRacing, that can be all it takes to make the difference. But right now, all these drivers up front doing a good job hanging in, as I believe the best lap of the race currently held by Nate Maurer in the 971. So these guys up here certainly not holding back on speed as Maurer. Oh, what a move from Maurer up the outside of Richmond.
Impressive. Yeah, he knows it's go time. He knows those guys back there that were leading this race are going to move up to that field. He knows he has to go right now. Is Jordan Scheffler sitting really pretty in 3rd. He started this race in 23rd. He's really taking great advantage of that track position. With the longer these leaders sit side by side like this, the longer the back of that 3rd, 4th, 5th place is going to catch them. So they need to sort this out pretty quickly, as now you see 98 does stay back in 2nd, but at 13, he's diving low. He knows it's go time right now.
Yeah, Jordan Scheffler on board with him right now, looking at the back of Jeremy Richmond. He is trying to look low to make that move, but just not able to get the momentum. You see Richmond in that 98 gets the drive off, has much more momentum as they go down the front straightaway. That's just the advantage that outside lane has over the inside lane, and especially as we get onto the older tires. But the 36 of Anderson as well, don't want to forget to mention him. He's hanging in here really well, running 4th. Brock Silvati in the 97 machine up from 13th to 5th right now. I haven't talked much about him, but here comes Philip Scott in the 99.
Exactly what I was looking at. He moved himself up into 6th place, and he cleared the likes of Tesoro, and I thought there was one other person that had been running up front that was right next to him. I'm not seeing him now on the scoreboard, but yeah, he's making a pass here for 5th, and he is going to go. So I'd like to see in the chat, guys, who do you think is going to take home the checkered flag tonight? We got just over 35 laps to go. I want to see some predictions on who you think is going to take home this win now that this field has been shaken up a little bit. So let's hear it, boys.
Yeah, Nate Maurer, I do believe he has won here before in the National Sim Racing Association, if memory serves me right. Nate Maurer knows how to get the job done here at Iowa. Currently driven out to about a 1-second lead over the 13 of Scheffler, who's now taken the 2nd position, or I should say is trying to take the 2nd position. Gonna clear him there, and the 36 of Anderson gonna start going to work on Richmond. But again, Philip Scott up into the 5th position now. Philip running that highest lane, gonna have a lot of momentum here. What does he do with it? Philip.
What an aggressive move. He
contact.
slides up and hits the 98. Oh, he's going to save. Wow, what a great save by the 98. Man, that's a product of hard racing. Philip Scott knows he has to go. Nathan Maurer up there with over a 2nd lead on him. He saw an opportunity from the 36 who had slid up a little bit and was able to make a really good run, but he dove it in there and he just couldn't quite make it stick. Split up and tapped the 98 a little bit there. But what that does do, that gives some breathing room for the 13 of Jordan Scheffler, who, what a shout out. He started 23rd and is up 21 spots in 2nd place. looking really good. He's only 7/10 back. He was about to be under a lot of pressure by Philip Scott had that move been made by him, but he is sitting really pretty now in second. Got the pressure off. Now he can just focus on what's in front of him and maybe sneak a crazy win for this race tonight.
Jordan Scheffler's made a little bit of time up on Nate Maurer up front. Someone who's struggling, though, right now is Patient Pettit in the 17. In the 13th position at the moment. Dropped a couple spots. I don't know what happened to him.
That's what I was looking for with the 99. They were, him, Tesoro, and Philip Scott were running together, and we knew those three had a good chance to be up there at the end of this race. But yeah, I'm not sure what happened, but he does seem to be struggling tonight. Just doesn't quite have that speed. Still running that low line, but yeah, he shuffled way back in traffic. If he doesn't get some strategy played the right way here, he's going to be struggling to finish in the top 10 tonight.
Right now, good battle going on around the 7th position. You're looking at it right now. The 97 Brock Salvati just lost that position to Mike Tellier on that last lap. The 92 of Julian Tesoro led early on, running 6th at the moment. He has Jeremy Richmond in between him and Philip Scott, who are the two on those newer tires up there. And then again, Adam Pettit was running with him down a little bit, but we saw him do this the first run of the race. Dropped some spots early and then gained him as the run went on the long run. Saved his tires up, so maybe just the same strategy for Pettit. We really don't know, but all of a sudden, Nate Maurer has pulled out a little bit more of a gap over the 13 of Scheffler. Pulled about 2/10 over the last 2 laps. They were running even lap times for a little bit there, so Maurer starting to get settled in up front right now. Ran the fastest lap on track that last time by. So right now, Nate Maurer looking incredibly fast up at the top of the charts, looking to keep it that way with 27 laps to go.
Yeah, he's definitely looking good. I'm really surprised that that was his fastest lap that was just run of the race on that last one. They've got a pretty good amount of tires on, but that goes to show how much they were saving them earlier on. But I know we always talk about this with how important track position is, but I think in recent weeks that this race is proven to show how important it really is at this track specifically. Because, yeah, I mean, you got people that were starting in the back of the pack that are now running up in the, well, Jordan Scheffler in second. He's really holding on strong. You see some of these guys who were really fast earlier, they're struggling a little bit to work their way through. It's a multi-groove track, but it's just, it can be really difficult to pass. As now we see Philip Scott has cleared for 3rd place, and he is coming. He's currently 1.8 seconds back. He does appear to be running a little bit of a higher line and backing up the entry, which I don't see anybody else in like the top 8 doing. It's given him a really good run off of the quarter, and he just gained another 10th there. You do definitely have Nathan that's pulling away a little bit, but I would keep my eyes on the 99 right now because he is coming.
Yeah, Philip Scott came from about the 3rd or 4th position, I believe, on the opening run of the race as well here. So we'll see what he can do from 2 seconds back of Nate Maurer in the 971. Philip, fastest car on track last time by a couple laps ago. It was Jordan Scheffler. So these top drivers just kind of throwing around the fastest lap times here up at the front. Nobody seems to be consistently making that pace that just separates them from everyone else. Jordan Scheffler in the 13, about 1 second back now, though, of Nate Maurer, so losing a little bit more ground as the run goes on. Again, that last lap, though, Philip Scott, fastest car on track, about a 10th faster than Nate Maurer, so Philip in the 99 has speed, but does he have enough time to go catch Nate Maurer, because he still has to deal with fighting Jordan Scheffler if he's able to catch that 13, which it looks like he'll be able to the way they're running right now.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be important to see how quickly he can clear the 13, but I imagine with the 13 not being up front much, that pressure, knowing that the 99 being as fast as he is, he definitely probably going to let him by a little easy, probably not put up too much of a fight. He's also running a completely different line, but I really like what I'm seeing from Philip Scott. I did not see him run this line at all this race, and now he's really backed up that entry. You watch, he enters high and he rolls through and stays high, but he's letting out longer, so when he exits that corner, he's exiting lower. He's able to straighten out that exit, and it's really giving him a good run down the backstretch. And he's making up a lot of time. about a half a tenth to a tenth a lap that he's making up. He's now 1.4 back of Nathan Maurer, our leader. So if he can make quick work of the 13 here, he's definitely got, 20 laps. I would think that's enough time at this rate. But he might also be burning up these tires a little bit. You got Nathan out there in front. He could just be coasting, knowing, hey, got nobody in front of me, nobody near me, behind me, and I'm just going to cruise and see if one of these guys can catch me and then go full throttle from there.
Well, that is the advantage of leading by about a second in the closing stages, is you've got a little bit of gap to give up and save those tires. Is on board with Philip, you can kind of see the bumps in the racetrack a little bit, especially when he ran in that higher line in 1 and 2. It's very bumpy up there. You're riding on board with him. You see him running a little bit higher than Jordan Scheffler here in the 13. Gets it turned down and is straighter on exit. That's the key here at Iowa to saving those tires, is managing to straighten out that exit. As again, Philip goes to that higher lane and you see him cross down and get the lower exit, and I believe he will have the run here on the 13 of Scheffler's. They go down the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4. Philip Scott dives under the 13 trying to make it stick, but like we've been saying all broadcast long, that inside lane harder to make work than the outside. Philip not able to get the pass there, but definitely going to be giving the 13 of Scheffler a run for his money.
Yeah, this is hurting Philip big time. He knows he's really needed to already make this pass. He's already lost 4/10 on the leader trying to make this pass, and it shows. He had the speed to get to the 13, but once you get to somebody's bumper like that, if they hold their line and you're running a different one, you got to change yours up in order to make that pass. He gets real aggressive going to the outside right here. He should be able to back this up and get a good run coming off this corner, but he's really struggling to make a pass. Give Jordan a lot of credit, because that 99 has been fast all day long. This is his first time running beside him. He's holding him off really good. But nobody loves this more right now than Nathan Maurer, as both second and third have lost a lot of time. And we're getting to the point now where even if Philip is able to get around him, I'm not quite so sure he's going to have the time. He's using everything he can right now to try to pass this 13. So Nathan's looking really good right now.
Yeah, Nate Maurer cruised out to a 2.5 lead now. Was almost up to 2 seconds. We'll see. He is able to stretch it again. About 2-second lead over the 13 and 99, who continue to battle for this second position in the closing stages of this race. We'll highlight a battle really quickly between the 98 of Jeremy Richmond, the 33 of Trey Whitehead, going at it for the 6th position right now. These two drivers putting on a show back here as well. Can't forget to mention them here. Doing a good job running side by side.
13's doing a really good job. He's moved his lineup a little bit on entry, which is actually blocking the 99. As now you see the 99 does get a really good run. He's going to go low and see if he can't maybe throw a slide job on the 13. He slides up. He's just not going to have the run. The 13 is running this perfect as far as like an offensive defensive standpoint. He's taking the line away. He knows where the 99's fast, and he's running more of a traditional middle line. But then when he sees that the 99 gets right on him, he actually slides up a little bit on the entry, which it doesn't allow the 99 to drive it in as deep as he wants, and it's kind of throwing him off his rhythm. He's just doing a fantastic job at protecting that second place position. He knows he doesn't probably have what it takes to get up to the leader, so he's just fighting for every point that he can make right now.
Yeah, and Jordan Scheffler in the 13, like you said, incredible job in the outside lane. If you're Philip Scott in the 99, I think at this point you've got to try and take that outside lane away from Jordan Scheffler, but he's doing such a good job up there. You know Scheffler is going to defend that outside lane with everything he's got on that number 13 machine. And right now, Jordan, a veteran as well of the National Sim Racing Association. We've talked about him. Great pit strategy. Caught the yellow flag right when he needed, up from 23rd, trying to gain 21 positions in the race. Jordan Scheffler putting on an incredible showing here as he continues to hold off the 99 of Philip Scott here as the laps wind down. Just 10 laps to go here from the Iowa Speedway here in the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series. Again, Thank you all for tuning in. We are not quite done yet. After the race, we will get to talk with all our top 3 finishers as they run right now. That would be Nate Maurer, Jordan Scheffler, and Philip Scott. But again, a lot can happen here in 10, now 9 laps.
Yeah, it looks like the field's spread out pretty well too, so I'd be kind of surprised to see a caution fly in these last 10 laps. But Jordan just needs to keep doing what he's doing. Everything he's done since his last restart has been perfect. So if he just continues to hold his line, slide up when he sees that 99 get close, he's going to be all right. I mean, Nathan's pretty much got this in the bag if this thing stays green, so we're really just watching this battle for second.
Yeah, Nate Maurer out to a 2.5 second race lead here in the closing stages of this one. Has it all but locked up here unless we were to get some kind of a caution on the racetrack. So Philip Scott, like we talked about, he was so fast, but he just kind of got caught up behind the 13, still caught up behind the 13, and that really took that 99 out of contention. But oh, they were almost touching into turn 1, but caution changes everything.
Oh boy, I did not see that coming. I'd be really curious to see what happened there. Now, I think some of these guys up front have another set of tires, man. We're going to go green with probably 2-3 laps to go. I'll be really curious to see if any of these guys come down and throw some freshies on. We know how important the track position is, but let's see what we got for that caution.
I hate to say it here in the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series. This one, not the cause of it, but the number 39 of Stan Hausman took it 3 wide up the inside, gets into the 97. I thought it was contact between the 24 and 97. I was wrong. Here, the 39 of Hausman tried to make an aggressive 3 wide move, didn't quite work out, and unfortunately for the race leader Nate Maurer, that's going to put us under yellow with just a couple laps to go. Again, changes the entire complexion of this race. We'll get an onboard look here with Ben Mashburn in the number 24 machine.
Yeah, that looked like a pretty silly move by the 39. I'm not really sure what he was thinking or really what he had to gain there. I understand wanting to get a few more points, but that was a little iffy. We do have all the leaders down pit road, by the way, as you show that inboard camera.
Yeah, not surprising to see your race leaders down pit road here with the restart that is going to decide this race. We might get a Beer Street Journal last call here, which is in the National Sim Racing Association. That's overtime. We call it the Beer Street Journal last call. We might get a chance at those depending on if they get to go green, but the 39 of Scott, Stan Hausman, I mean, you're racing with 5 laps to go, or within 10 laps to go for sure. I mean, you want to make that move and get 2 cars, and he almost made it work. That 97 just a little further down the track than I think the number 39 anticipated. And again, that puts us back under yellow flag, but Nate Maurer doing a good job out front. I want to see if we can actually dial up Nate Maurer on the radio and get a chance to talk with driver of the 971 here right before they go green, if I can find him.
Just to point out that 99 had gained a spot on pit road. He will now be starting P2. The 13 lost 2 spots. Mike gained a spot. Mike Pellier now in 3rd. You know that 99's going to give it everything he has here. We are about to find ourselves a really good race ending. There is no more give. It is all take.
Yeah, it's going to be a good race to the end. And Nate Maurer, Mitchell Adams, and Tyler up in the World Racing Network booth. You got a copy?
I got you guys. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. Probably not as good as you here. I don't think you're about to go green, so wanted to dial you up and talk to you. And just, where's your head at right now?
You don't want to know where it's at. I thought I was going to finally get a win in here, and I heard some guys yelling at each other on here, so I kind of have a feeling what happened, but see if we can somehow pick up some short run speed here. It's go time now, but we probably have the best driver in here to my outside right now, so I'm sure he'll find a way to win this thing.
Yeah, well, you've been certainly looking fast, and I don't want to let you give it, I don't want to make you give it away, I should say, but what's the strategy here, and where are you liking to run on the racetrack coming into this restart?
Oh, low line. Everybody seemed to run high. At the beginning of the race, I trying to save tires way too much, and I kind of fell back to 11th, worked my way back up to 6th or 7th before people started pitting there. So this run, I just went go, 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 let Jeremy get in front of me, and can't really say my strategy here. Old Philip Scott might be listening right now, so we'll see what we can do here.
About to go green, so I wish you good luck, man. You're going to have a good challenge, but you've run good all night, so best of luck to you, and just give it your all.
We'll be talking to you guys here in a few minutes.
Well, that was Nate Maurer, driver of the 971, currently fighting for the race lead, trying his hardest to hold back this number 99 of Philip Scott, who has been very fast all race long. We will see if Nate Maurer able to make it happen here on this final restart. We will get a Beer Street Journal last call for those of you who were curious. I believe the first of the season. I could be wrong about that one.
He's sitting right where he wants to be. He's been running that high lane the last portion of this race, so he got everything he wanted by moving up that one spot into second place. He's going to be very aggressive on this restart. Probably going to keep riding that high lane and look for that runoff for the corner. But don't be surprised if we catch another caution here, because these guys are not going to be given an inch. And, hey, they know it's go time. So look for that 99. I feel like he's got a pretty good shot here.
Yep, anybody's game here up at the front of the field. Pace car down pit road. The field in the hands of Nate Maurer. He jumps a little bit earlier than we've seen him doing. Good.
What a great restart.
Great restart, like you said, for Nate Maurer, out to a huge lead over the 99 of Philip Scott, who was battling Mike Poppy
Tellier. Lose, and he's going to lose a ton of ground. Oh, and we got a call. Oh, that caution saved him. Oh, my goodness. What a huge moment by our leader. He lost it off the corner, and the 99 was about a car length away from taking that lead when that caution came out. That just saved Nathan's race. That was unbelievable. They were coming to the white flag. Philip was side by side with him when that caution came out. I'll be curious to see what happened to that caution, but boy, did Nathan catch a break there, because he lost it coming off that corner, and Philip had him.
Yep.
Wow.
Trying to find the caution here. I believe we are looking at the 36. Oh, no, the 98 gets loose of Jeremy Richmond in the corner, collects the 36 of Daniel Anderson, who had been having a tremendous run here at the Iowa Speedway. Very unfortunate for a lot of those drivers there. You see the 36 torn up completely there. A lot of damage. We'll go on board with him here and get his view. But again, the last caution really took Nate Maurer out of an almost guaranteed race win here. Now this one took what looks like Philip Scott out of it.
Yeah, that was wild. I mean, he got real squirrely, kind of like what caused that caution coming out of that corner. It surprised me because it was farther into the exit of the turn than I would have expected to see him get loose. But that car kicked sideways, and he lost a ton of speed, and the 99 was going to blow the doors off of him on that inside lane. That caution could not come out at a better time. Now, we did notice on that restart, he jumped it early. He went very early on and caught Philip Scott off guard. If he wants to play a little, cat and dog here, he might wait until really late on this restart. Philip might predict the same thing and be ready and get too antsy, and might make him mess up a little bit if he goes late in the restart zone this time by. But this definitely shook everything up. I mean, that only I think that was like 8th place that battle happened, that caution came out somewhere around there. If the 99 can get a better restart, look for something like that to possibly happen. They're on fresh tires. They haven't pushed this hard on fresh tires all night long. So not too surprising to see these cars get sideways like that. The leader's pushing hard when he about loses it himself. So look for Philip to learn a little bit from that, and look for Nathan to maybe change up the strategy a little bit to keep Philip off of his game.
Yeah, if you're Nate Maurer, you just showed him your plan here for the Beer Street Journal last call. You're about to have to do it again in our second attempt at it here. So if you're Nate Maurer, I agree. You kind of have to change it up a little bit. Of course, I'm just the broadcaster. I'm not Nate Maurer out there leading this race. I don't know what he'll do, but you're exactly right. He just showed Philip Scott what he had planned for that restart here. Now you've got another attempt at it. It's completely reset, and I mean, he did get kind of lucky there. Philip Scott had a great run. I don't know if he would have gotten it because Nate Maurer was holding that outside lane, and we've seen that have the momentum, but definitely had the potential to shake things up without that caution. But pace car lights still on. They're going to go around one more time here. RC Planes in the chat asking how many attempts at the green-white checkered we get. I believe it's 2. I am looking through right now to double check that. I think it's
showing
2.
on the screen 3 that we're on attempt 2 out of 3 right now. So
Then
I would assume
3.
there's 3 attempts.
Yes.
Nathan just needs to take a deep breath here. He needs to know, all right, I got away with that one. I can't make that mistake again. Change up the strategy a little bit on this restart. Don't play the same hand because the 99 is probably expecting that. And he just needs to take a deep breath. He had that race in the bag had he not slipped up and that caution came out. So he knows he's capable of getting the restart that he needs and finishing this race off. So he just needs to calm his nerves. I'm sure if he had a heart rate monitor in that car, it was probably 180 beats a minute when that car kicked out sideways. So just needs to calm down, take a deep breath, get ready for this restart, and finish this one off.
And for those of you in YouTube chat, I apologize for the bots which are infesting the chat right now. I keep blocking them and different ones keep coming back. We avoided them last week. Unfortunately, the chat's been raided by the bots, but we are gonna keep racing through it here as the field goes down the back straightaway. Again, thank you for checking on the Beer Street Journal last calls. This is why it's great to have someone who, you know, knows a little bit more about what they're talking about, has that information at their fingertips. So thank you, Tyler, for, you know, setting us straight there.
I'd love to see a couple quick predictions on who's going to win this race. As the pace car pulls off, we're about to go green. Oh, perfect. He did exactly what I talked about. He looked like he was going to go early. The 99 jumped, and then he went after that. Perfect restart by Nathan Maurer. If he cannot mess up and this stays green to catch that white flag, he's going to have this race in the bag. Now we see the 99 clear Mike Tellier for second. He's going to look to give it everything he has, but Nathan's got this. He just needs to be careful and patient, make sure he keeps that car straight.
Yeah, the 99 if Philip Scott has Mike Tellier on his back bumper. Tellier into the wall, but white flag in the air. Next flag gonna end the race here. Can Nate Maurer hold on one more lap over Philip Scott?
Hold that low lane. He's got it. He's just got one more turn to go. The 99 did get a good run, but he just needs one more clean corner. He's going to hold the low line, what he knows. 99 is going to have a pretty good run here. They might get side by side. Oh, Nathan, just the perfect way to end this. I was in the wreck behind him, big wreck behind him, but Nathan's going to take home the win tonight as third on back. Wrecks behind them at the start-finish line. What a race.
Yeah, huge wreck there at the line. We'll go take a look at that in a minute, but Nate Maurer, what a piece of driving it was by the driver of the 971. Nailed that last restart, just like you said.
I promise you, you're going to want to stick around for these interviews, everybody. I promise you. What a race.
Oh, yeah.
You got a replay on what happened at the coming out of turn 4? Because that looked pretty wild. I saw it on the back part of the view I had on the screen, the blimp cam. But it looked like third and fourth got loose, just giving it their all in the last lap, and it collected a lot of drivers.
Yeah, we are going to take a look at this incident here. Right now on the final lap, you see 13:47 get together, race into the line. The 31 collecting, just everyone piles right into it, coming to the line. Big incident here. Look at all these drivers collected in it. Let's just go sit in it from the blimp and look at all these drivers kind of get collected in the chaos of the final lap.
Oh boy, that was a lot. The 13 was just being really aggressive and definitely started that, and he would manage to be the one to get through it in third place. He might have a few unhappy people with how that ended, but that's racing for you. I mean, you're on the last lap, second green-white checker attempt. You're gonna see those guys make those moves. You kind of just got to get over it and understand that if you were in that position, you probably would have done the same thing.
Well, Jordan Scheffler in the 13 is going to be your third place finisher tonight. We will get to talk with him as well as Philip Scott and race winner Nate Maurer here in just a second. We're going to dial up Nate Maurer doing his post-race burnouts here. We will be right back on the World Racing Network with your post-race interviews. Please stick with us here. We'll be back in a minute. And we are back here on the World Racing Network now. Gonna get to talk to some of our top 3 finishers here. First off, we gotta talk to Jordan Shepler, driver of the number 13. Jordan, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, it was a very exciting race to the finish. We saw you kind of get involved in a little bit of a last lap incident, but take us through that battle and what you were going through there going into that last call.
Yeah, I mean, going into the last turn, I hate that I used Mike up like that because I did. I used him all the way as much as I could, but I didn't want to let out of the gas there. I wanted that podium finish, but I do want to say sorry to Mike.
Well, I mean, certainly still a great run. I know you don't want to end it in contact on the last lap, but we were kind of watching you through the race up from 23rd to 3rd here in this race. Take us through that drive up 20 positions. That's one heck of a race.
Really, I mean, it's all about just kind of saving your tires on this track. If you run too hard, too fast, like I did in that second stint, you send that fall back. I don't know how I was able to hold off Phillip for as long as I did. I mean, he definitely had the faster car. But yeah, I mean, one of my favorite tracks to come to. But I mean, I really think it just boils down to saving your tires whenever you can.
Well, you definitely did something right with them here tonight. You're going to come away with a great 3rd place finish. Looking ahead to next week, though, we go to Kansas for the anythingec.com 120. What are your thoughts about Kansas going back to the 1.5 miles?
It should be a fun one. You know, everybody always likes the 1.5 miles, at least I do. Looking forward to it. We got a great group of guys that we race with, so it should be an interesting one. So I hope everybody tunes in.
Yeah, it'll definitely be a good race right here on the World Racing Network next Thursday. But before we let you go, Jordan, any shout-outs you want to give?
Absolutely want to shout out my family, everybody that's watching. Give a shout out to our sponsors, Max Graphics, Beer Street Journal. Big thank you to all the admins that put this on. I know there's a lot of hard work that goes into this each and every week. So especially you guys up in the booth, you guys put on a great product. So I want to say thanks to everybody.
Well, thank you for stopping by and talking with us, Jordan. Congratulations on 3rd place, and best of luck next week at Kansas.
Thanks for having me.
All right, that was driver of the number 13 machine, Jordan Shepler. I believe, though, that Tyler's caught up with 2nd place finisher.
Phillip, first of all, congratulations on your 2nd place finish. That was a heck of a race. You definitely had probably one of the top 2 cars all night, but I gotta walk you through that first green-white checker attempt. Coming out of turn 2, coming to the white flag, we saw Nathan get super sideways, and you were about to blow the doors off of him when that caution came out. You had that race in the bag if that didn't happen. What was going through your mind once you saw him get sideways, you were about to pass him, and then the emotional change of seeing that yellow come out before you had cleared that pass?
Yeah, so I was ahead of him when the yellow showed up on my screen, but I know that iRacing's delayed. So at first I'm like, so when I got by, I'm like, okay, I think this is smooth sailing after this because he lost all that momentum getting loose and everything. So, but yeah, I try it. Then I'm like, oh no, because I hate restarting on the top, and it's just so nerve wracking because the control car can just go whenever, and it's just like I only have a single monitor, so I just kept on clicking I have on my left stick on my wheel. I was just kept on spamming left, looking back and forth at Nate's car, waiting for him to go, and then just booking it. But yeah, that was a lot of fun, front to back for me, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was an incredible race, and we knew you were one of the faster cars before that first caution that brought us to the green-white checker. You had raced your way back from about 8th place, I think, to 3rd. You had caught I'm blanking on the name. The 13. You had caught the 13, and you just couldn't seem to get by him. You had the speed, but once you got to him, he would move up a little bit on those corner entries and take your line from you. But when that caution came out, I'm surprised that you weren't excited about the high line, because that did seem to be your preferred line moving your way through traffic. I know you once you made that pass on pit road and you came out second, I know you felt like you had a good shot, but going to the last restart, what changed differently for you? Because I know on the first green white checker attempt, he went really early. Were you anticipating that? Because on that second restart, it looked like he actually held up and went on a delayed start, which looked like it threw you off a little bit.
No, I don't think I would have been as thrown. I don't think that it mattered where he was restarting. I knew that he was going to restart early and try to get the jump because I know that on the couple restarts prior, during the green flag runs and everything, uh, when he was out in front, he was starting like right at the green. So I knew that like green white checkered, he's not waiting until the green because I'll just get the momentum on my side. So it was it was tricky to time it, but I just tried to. All I was thinking was I said in my chat, me and me and Floppy were uh he wanted me to give him a little bit of room on the restart, which was totally fine. And so I was just like, I'm just gonna Larson line it and just go all the way at the top, try to go at the top as good as I can, and just bolt it off the corner. But yeah, it by the time the restart happened, and because I was side by side with Mike and everything, it was too hard to catch back up to Nate. I feel like if I had one more lap, I could have had it, but that's how it goes. And I'm really proud of that effort because it was a long race. I thought that I had it. I thought that I felt like I had a winning car definitely, but when the yellow came out, and it was so hard to like battle my way through traffic from 11th. So it was really tricky balance and trying to fight my way back. But I'm very happy with second, and I'm very happy for Nate for getting that win because he earned it after the battle we had last week.
Yeah, you guys definitely had a fantastic race, and I know you were trying really hard to go back to back 2 wins in a row, but just came up short. But moving on to Kansas, what do you feel for that track? And do you have any shout outs after that?
Yeah. So I'm a big fan of Kansas. Um. Definitely. Definitely somewhere where I can use the high line without using up my tires. Um. Unlike Homestead where I burn out. So I'll probably use the high line a lot there. Who knows though? We'll just see how the car feels and everything, especially with all the aero updates and everything. So yeah, and of course, since it's her home race, a shout out to my good friend McKenna Hassey Racing. Yeah, she's an Iowa native, competes at like Knoxville Nationals, 410 sprints. She's that my car is based off her paint scheme. So yeah, shout out to her.
Well, again, congratulations, man. It was a great race, a lot of fun to call, and I look forward to watching you compete next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
If that was second place finisher here tonight, Philip Scott, it's time to talk with our race winner, Nate Maurer. You didn't sound very confident when we talked to you before those Beer Street Journal last calls. You're here in victory lane, though.
Yes, I am. Thanks to that caution on that restart.
Well, kind of take us through it. We saw you kind of struggled on that first attempt at the last call. What'd you fix going into the second one that allowed you to drive away with it?
Backed my speed down a good bit. I just went in there too fast. Never really ran that hard on fresh tires, and got back in the gas way too early. And I thought I was going to pound the wall, but somehow I straightened it up, and then thought I was going to have another lap to try to get at least 2 fill up. But then the caution came out right when we were, I guess, side by side and gave me the lead. And then just backed my entry up then on that next restart, and backed it down a good bit, just kind of protected the bottom from Phillip. And he took the top air on the last lap on 3 and 4, and luckily he wasn't able to get the momentum off there to get up to me.
And we saw a lot of drivers moving up toward that higher lane, especially late in the race, but you stuck down low for most of it. You just like how the car drove down there, or was it you trying to save tires, or kind of what led into that decision for you?
Yeah, I really don't know. I felt like I was saving tires. I mean, there's no doubt you save tires when you just let off the gas and let the car wrap around the bottom. But every time I rode on the bottom, I was actually the fastest on the track. So I just stayed down rolling that bottom, and yeah, I got a really good. I felt like you get a better entry going doing that, but you lose a little bit on exit compared to the high line. But I felt more comfortable coming off the corner on the bottom line than the top line.
I'll turn it over to my broadcast partner Tyler, see if he has any questions for you.
Well, first of all, man, congratulations. That was a thrilling race to call as a broadcaster, watching you up there. I know that was a pretty scary moment when you came off that turn two coming to the white, and you were about to get the doors blown off of you after having to check up the way that you did. That caution couldn't have come out at a better time. But what I want to talk to you about is that first green-white checker restart. It looked like you went really early, which caught the 99 off guard. And I was talking to Mitchell, and I was like, hey, if I'm him, I'm changing up the strategy. He thinks I'm going to go early. I'm not going to go early. I'm going to go a little later. And from what I saw, the 99 was actually a little bit ahead of you, anticipating that early start, and it looked like you went a little later. So walk me through, was that what you were thinking on that second green-white checker attempt, or did you really kind of play it like you did the first one?
Yeah, I just kind of waiting. Let's face it, we all know that Philip Scott is one hell of a driver in here. And I know he's smart. I know he'd get a good restart if he kind of knew when I was going. I could tell he was kind of just getting a little bit on the gas, I could see the cards coming up just a little bit. Like he was trying to anticipate when I was going to go, and I kind of waited for him to do that. And then that's when I got on the gas. I was actually kind of restarting on him. But yeah, I kind of tried changing it up every time. Then I got yelled at when I actually went on green there in the middle of the race when there was a big wreck on the restart there. I'd rather just go on green. I think it makes it more fun going side by side with somebody, but I guess going on green in here causes huge checkups behind. So I just started going. Then when the pace car pulls off.
Well, regardless of what they think, you did everything right tonight. You do come home P1. Moving on next week to Kansas, what are your thoughts on that track? And do you have any shout-outs after that?
Kansas, I could take it or leave it. I think that is pretty much a highline dominant track. If I remember right, everyone kind of moves up quick to the high line, but maybe I'll try the low line again there next week. Who knows? But shout out to all my teammates in here. Justin White couldn't make it tonight. Doug Neal, he got taken out by, I don't even know what happened. I forget. He got 3 wide, got taken out. Teammate Bryce Hunter, he had some pretty good damage there and still limped his car back to a top 10 here tonight. But yeah, the biggest one has to go out to my sponsor, Doug Neal, Simbox. So if you need a button box, hit up Simbox PC on Facebook. Also shout out to Stan Hausman and Beer Street Journal, and also you guys up there in the broadcast booth every Thursday night.
Thank you very much, man, and I look forward to calling your race next week.
Have a good night, guys.
That was Nate Maurer, your race winner here tonight from the Iowa Speedway, and what a run it was for him and all these drivers here in the field tonight for the National Sim Racing Association Beer Street Journal Grand National Series. Once again, these drivers put on one heck of a show for us here, Tyler.
Yeah, that was a that was a really fun race to call. I've only done a few of these now, but each race has just gotten better and better. Absolutely love being able to join you up here in the booth, and it's an impressive bunch of drivers. I'll give them that. There's some really hard racing, but overall incredibly clean. They know how to respect each other. They know how to give and take, and they're going to face a whole different set of challenges next week at Kansas. That does typically seem to be a highline track, but I have seen many guys work that low lane to a lot of success. So look for Nathan again to be strong next week. He said he's going to try to work that low lane, so I'd keep a good close eye on him next week.
Yeah, Kansas traditionally on iRacing been a very highline dominant, but with the recent updates, it's kind of becoming more of a multi-groove racetrack, and it's a lot of fun to watch, so definitely make sure to tune in next week again here on the World Racing Network to watch the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series once again take to the track from the Kansas Speedway. It'll be a great race, but before we go, we got to read off the finishing order here from tonight's race, of course, because you got to know where your favorite driver finished here tonight if you're out there in the chat, and it's been scrolling through at the top of the screen. We'll go ahead and read it off, though. Again, Nate Maurer in the 971 picks up the race win here, his first of the season. Philip Scott finishes second place, couldn't quite get 2 wins in a row, but gave it one heck of an effort. Jordan Scheffler finished third. We talked to all three of them. Then it was the 92 of Julian Tesoro finishing fourth. Trey Whitehead finished fifth. Brock Whitehead finished sixth. Adam Pettit finished in the seventh position. Not quite as good a run late there for Patient Pettit, but still top 10. Great run for him as well. Then it was Patrick Morrison finishing in the 8th position. Josh Sobel finished 9th. Bryce Hunter finished 10th. You want to take him through 11th through 20th again, Tyler?
Yeah, we got Stan Hosman finishing 11th, Ben Mashburn 12th, Nick Kessler 13th, Daniel Anderson 14th, Mike Tellier, after coming out of turn 4 in 3rd place, got taken out. He finishes all the way back in 15th. Ryan Sizemore 16th, Martin Plute 17th, Brock Salvati 18th, Jeremy Richmond in 19th, and Doug Neal 32 laps down in 20th.
Yeah, then Chris Darling finished in 21st, Matt Donnelly 22nd, Noah Owens 23rd. Those were the drivers who started tonight's race, and then a couple didn't make it to the grid. They have been scrolling up there as well. But again, thank you all for tuning in here, and go ahead, before you leave, if you enjoyed the race, make sure to go hit that like button, and if you're not already subscribed, go do that. It helps us and the National Sim Racing Association out quite a bit. Helps us keep putting on these broadcasts for you every week. We've had a lot of people out in the chat with us. Jeremy Richmond, somebody named Tyler Belanger once again, Tyler Talon, Will Radcliffe out there, RC Plains, riders out there in the chat. The bots are out there too. We ignore them. I've been going through deleting their messages, but yeah, again, thank you all for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure to come back next week for the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series at the Kansas Speedway. And again, got to thank all the sponsors who make these broadcasts possible. Beer Street Journal, of course, the title sponsor of the series. Max Graphics, Stay Tuned Sports, Simbox, Brookstone Animal Hospital, who I think I missed a couple lucky dogs there toward the end. Brookstone Animal Hospital and that slew of cautions. They help out a lot here in the National Sim Racing Association, so big thank you to them as well. And also Taz Racing Customs, J&R Craftworks, and Eclipse Photography. If you don't like the World Racing Network or the National Sim Racing Association on social media like Facebook or Twitter, make sure to go do that, because the NSRA puts out some great pictures Eclipse Photography does for them of these races. It's very good work they do, so make sure to go like them on Facebook or Twitter, and then us also. I usually share those. The link to their Facebook page is in the description of this video if you're curious, but that's gonna do it here for us here at Iowa. You have any other closing thoughts before we go off the air, Tyler?
Just proud of everybody's driving. They're putting on some great races. It'd be pretty difficult for us to have a boring broadcast with how well of a show these guys put on. So can't wait for next week, and look forward to continuing being the co-broadcast up here with you. I appreciate the opportunity again, man.
Yeah, we are all looking forward to next week at Kansas for the anythingec.com 120. Make sure to tune back in. You can find us at the exact same place, but until